Chris Chinnock here for Display Central, NAB 2014, down in the Dolby 3D suite at the far end of the South Hall, very far end of the South Hall, I might say, where we've just seen kind of an update on what Dolby's doing in the 3D infrastructure. And really the news today is about an integration with a company called Stereolabs. Stereolabs is kind of one of the premier providers of automated live 3D acquisition equipment. They started working with CPG, Cameron Pace Group, about 2 years ago to kind of automate the process of alignment. Well, actually, it's beyond alignment. Once the cameras are aligned, it's how you actually do the focus pulling and convergence pulling and I/O pulling for the camera. And that has historically has been done by an operator in a truck for a live event, but that's costly, time-consuming, and often not actually fast enough and accurate enough to actually create the best 3D image. So what Stereolabs does is to basically automate that process by looking at the content that's coming at you and making decisions through a computer to adjust, mostly adjust the convergence. I don't think they really do a lot of interaxial adjustment, mostly convergence pulling. But that process then allows that convergence puller to be removed from the truck and to create a more consistent and pleasing 3D effect. Now you still need a stereographer, but he can now monitor all of the 3D cameras on the shoot at once. And he's also there at the beginning of the setup to set the depth budget for each camera and to create the kind of look and 3D budget that this particular event or the producer wants to create. Sometimes that may vary from region to region, from event to event, again depending on sensibilities of the stereographer and the region and the producer. So all that's great. They've been doing that for years, a couple of years now. But what's new now with Dolby is the integration of multi-view, the Dolby 3D format into Stereolabs processing box. This is a box that they call Pure. It's a 2RU box that sits in the OB van. But now with the partnership with Dolby, they can add the software basically to create the Dolby 3D format, which will have left eye, right eye, plus metadata, and to create the depth map for multi-view displays. Now, they do have to modify the box a bit to add basically 4 more BNC connectors for 4x HD SDI outputs to support 4K displays. They clearly want to make sure this can support 4K displays, although it doesn't have to be a 4K display. So that will be ready, I think, I don't know, within the next month or two, I guess. Yes, okay, good. Now they also showed some demos of what this can look like with some live content, although this wasn't done with the automated process. But I think the key output here is, one, you can now have a more consistent review and acquisition during the acquisition process of the multi-view format during a live production. This has definitely not been available to date. The creation of the multi-views has always been an offline process. So now you have a live, real-time capability to do this. So if you're going to acquire content with the possibility that's going to be delivered to multi-view displays, now you have a quality control capability live on set or at the event to be able to QC that process. So I think that's the main message here from the Dolby 3D area. Chris Chinnock for Display Central.